Okay, the recording has started, and this is the November 3rd, 2020 Rook Community Meeting. We could skip over 1.3 since we do not have any planned patch releases for that. We have been targeting a 1.4.7 patch release for a little bit now. And so we can take a quick look at that board there because that is coming up this week.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about in this board here. We have had a number of bug fixes that are in the done column there that will be in that release. But the one remaining in the to-do column, I'm not sure it's a repro for some. I need to figure out if that's a repro still. I thought Barsha from Red Hat looked into it, but maybe she must have commented on a different issue because I didn't think she could repro it.
Is this the original poster? Oh no, it's not the original opener of the issue. But somebody that ran into it that had, it was a good analysis here of a couple of things that they did wrong that got them to this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, that's really useful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll plan on that Thursday.
Yeah, so 2 days from now, that's expected to go out. Okay, and then 1.5 is a much bigger effort here, the first 1.5 minor release. We've been targeting this as our kind of quarterly release cadence, and we've been planning the entire time to have this out before KubeCon North America starts. We're targeting a week from today, so next Tuesday. And the plan here is to cut the release 1.5 branch 2 days from now on Thursday, the same day that we'll be releasing the 1.4.7 patch. Here is the board here. Travis, do you have any issues of importance here to call out, or some of this to-do column here that probably won't get addressed?
Yeah, I think in this board, I took a look at it yesterday. The things in the to-do column, I don't think are blockers for the initial release, so we can consider them in patch releases after that. Let's see, which one is in progress? Cron job is, oh, that's just a PR in progress. I think we should be able to get it in, but it's not a blocker either. The stretch cluster one that's in review there, that one, yeah, I want to try and get it in before we branch, since it is more of a major feature for the release.
Right.
That's in, I'm doing some final testing and it needs just a final review.
Cool.
And then I think
Excellent.
We're good there. And just I guess a comment on, yeah, so Thursday, I believe we should be ready for branching. And then from Thursday through the release, we'll get the upgrade doc updated and tested for upgrades. And then I think we'll be ready. Tuesday is probably pushing it if we're branching it on Thursday. So Wednesday or Thursday may in reality be more what we're targeting here. So for the sake of these notes, for now, how about if we move it to Wednesday the 11th for the target release? But they'll have to see. That's
reasonable. It's still well ahead of the, that's 1 week before KubeCon itself starts pretty much. So that's fine. Or 6 days, whatever. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, so.
Any other issues to call out on the board?
Not for me. Anybody else?
Maybe Seb or Blaine, these issues that are assigned to you all, that's not anticipating those making it in the 1.5 release, I assume.
I wish we could make the OSD raw mode for non-PVC devices as part of 1.5, because we have been having so many issues with snap volume plus the LVM layer on top of it. Yeah, I need to see if I can make it or not. It's really TBD. It's not like a must-have, but it's really nice to have starting from 1.5, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, I've got another agenda item for that related topic actually, with step volume changes, so we can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, other than that, I don't have anything for that board.
All right.
Yeah, same.
All right, sounds good, Blaine. Okay, so yep, that's the plan for 1.5. Be cutting the release branch on Thursday. Then we'll have a few days of upgrade guide testing and bake time, etc., and maybe some backporting of other fixes that we need to do. But then targeting Wednesday for the release. Okay. Alrighty. So that's all the milestone stuff. And so moving on to the community topics here. KubeCon is coming up in 2 weeks from now, I believe. And so everybody should have submitted their recordings. I think those are all in. That's great. For the Rook session that is on Friday, the last day of the conference, Blaine and Alexander have graciously accepted to be present for the live Q&A at the end there. So thank you, gentlemen, for doing that. Appreciate that. Alexander, you've done one of those live Q&A things before as well, too.
Yes.
And Blaine, I'm not sure if you've gotten a chance to do one of those, but it is a little confusing when you first get thrown into it. So feel free to sync up with Alexander if you haven't already to kind of get some tips on how to manage the questions and how to use the software there, the platform, their little, what's the name of it? Intrado, whatever platform to manage the questions, because it's a little confusing at first.
No, it was called in Intrado or something like that. It can be a bit confusing. I think it will be a bit hard to sync up on that earlier because, well, I'm not remembering too much how the structure was. I think they might change something till then. Who knows?
I hope they didn't change anything because it's
think-
only been like 2 months since EU.
Yeah, well, I would say let's just see that we jump in early enough. And
yeah, you can think about it like because
we,
you show up 30 minutes ahead of time, and so you can kind of like play with it there, and then like gives it.
Yeah, then we can definitely.
Tips. Yeah. Cool. So
I
thanks,
think that sounds good.
Thanks, Blaine.
Just as a side note, I think in the last conference for the intro session, did you guys say you got like 50 questions?
Yeah. It was something like 40 or 50. Yeah.
Yeah. In the deep dive session, we only got like 10 or 12 questions. So just for what it's worth, somewhere in that range is probably the number of questions. Between 10 and 50 that you'll get. Yep, thanks for covering that.
Yeah, awesome. All right, and then Travis, you provided the update, including like a user testimonial story type of thing too for the keynote project update. So thank you for doing that. That is done and confirmed.
Right. I wasn't clear though. If I was thinking from our last discussion with Amy and Chris that there might be some other opportunity for keynote since we've graduated. I haven't heard anything from them though. I think maybe I guess we should ping them and see what's up if there's any other involvement that we can.
Yeah, that is
just that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I remember that discussion as well too. So that there may be an opportunity there. They may not. I remember them kind of presenting it to us as a potential, and like, oh, we'll see how things shake out. We're still figuring it out. So it may very well be that didn't happen, but we can definitely follow up and ask.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll reach out to Amy and see. I'm assuming it didn't happen, or we probably would have heard otherwise.
Yeah, Amy's normally pretty involved for stuff. So.
It would be nice to have a slot, to be honest. I mean, it's not like you have a project graduating every day, right?
Right.
No, I mean, it's
not every day at all, Sebastian.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it takes like a year to get one through.
Right. So it's like it's the latest milestone you have. It's almost the highest grade from CNCF. So if you don't get like 3 minutes of a keynote, then who gets it?
Someone else will say it for us.
The gold level or diamond level sponsors.
Oh, right. Okay.
All of the money.
Right. It's always about the money.
All right, cool. So that is, I think, everything for KubeCon. So 2 weeks from now. Oh, that actually reminds me too. So I think the first morning of KubeCon is when our next community meeting is scheduled. So we may want to cancel or postpone that one to skip that one for KubeCon since we'll all be there probably. I don't know what time things start on that day, but that is the first day of KubeCon is the 17th, 2 weeks from now.
Right. Or yeah, let's see. We might just have a short meeting that day, 10 minutes even, just to touch base after the release too. But
Oh yeah, that's
let's
fair.
keep an eye on it.
Okay, cool.
Depending
Yeah,
on if it's the middle of some big keynote, or depending on if what's happening with the conference.
Our big keynote.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. The Rook keynote. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that sounds good. We'll keep that on the calendar then. Travis, did you add this topic about the
Yeah.
LSD creation?
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned a minute ago. As far as just so yesterday, the CI started failing. Like, oh, what's going on? It was funny. It was right. The master build that first failed with all these errors was from the NFS. No, the PR you merged yesterday, Jared, with the NFS operator, right?
Yeah. Some of the quota changes for that. Yeah.
Right, and I was just confused because why are the Ceph tests all failing now after the NFS operator change?
What did I do?
Right, I almost pinged you like, Jared, go fix this, and then I realized, oh wait, this has nothing to do with NFS operator. The Ceph Nautilus latest patch release came out and apparently had a pretty big breaking change for us, because the Ceph volume batch mode for LVM seems to not work. It prints in a message about it being deprecated, but then it just doesn't work. And so, yeah, I think we've got a bigger issue where we need to recommend people don't use that release of Nautilus in Rook if they're using OSDs on non-PVCs, at least. The PVC case still works.
And Travis, do you think that that's potentially a bug there, like where it's announcing that it's deprecated, but it actually the functionality doesn't work at all anymore either, and it's in a patch release, which is kind of unexpected for something to be broken in a patch release? Is that an upstream regression that needs to be addressed?
Yeah, potentially. And Sebastian has a little more context there. Do you want to speak to it? But we don't really know for sure yet exactly.
Well, I think you. Without actually knowing really the issue, Jared, you actually quite summarized it really well. This is something that shouldn't be happening in a pinpoint release. Like it's a regression, definitely, because you don't insert breaking changes in the middle of a release, and that's what happened. Even though one of our colleagues hardly fought for not having that change merged, but it looks like they decided to go with it anyways. So yeah, I guess we'll have to just open up. I think Satoru is going to open up an issue on the tracker, on Ceph tracker. So at least to highlight that they, just like we said, you will be breaking things by doing this. So they actually did break things now, and we'll see how to take it from there. I guess for now, the pinning to 14.2.12 is fine. It's really fine to do this right now. And we'll have to talk with the Ceph maintainers how we could avoid that in the future, potentially.
Yeah, the integration test just used the V14 tag. So it just picks up whatever the latest release is, which is why we just hit it. And I just opened a PR to pin it back to that. Still need to hit merge after the CI completes, which it might be done by now. But yep.
Yeah, I approved it, so we should probably go ahead and merge it as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And there weren't any other fixes or improvements that we were counting on getting out of the .13 release.
There is one, but it's a hot fix, and it's not something we use in Rook. So I don't think we're affected by by the bug that is being fixed in the .13 release. So for now, it's otherwise we would have seen that earlier.
Right.
So I guess it's fine to just pin with the 12.12 release till we find a solution for that regression.
Got
in
it.
Ceph volume.
And hopefully we can block the next Octopus release that probably also has the same thing already backported.
Yeah, the problem is that there are not so many ways around it, because now it's part of the stable code. It's not like we can really easily avoid that .13 version. Or yeah, well, we can, but it's just like it's going to be ugly if people do upgrade and then we just reject that version. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Right.
Yeah, but is that something that like maybe would be for the best in Rook? Like it would be really awkward to be like, actually we don't support this version, I'm not going to do anything. But like that could be for the best to not break anything, just to say, you know, to update like a 1.4 patch, and in 1.5 just be like, we don't support this version of Ceph. While non-ideal, like it seems like it could be a good thing.
To just preemptively say we don't support that, even though it's not for, or it only affects some scenarios, but probably the majority of Rook users, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's the majority of the scenario. I mean, it's really this one. So anybody that upgrades to 4.13 won't see anything until they expand their cluster. So we can still avoid people like if they come up with another hot fix, or they give us a way to work around it without having to just change too many things in our code. We could solve that by Rook release, or wait for the next 14.2.14.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
we'll take it and see what we can do with it. Just we don't know everything yet.
I guess one
Yeah,
option
to
is
that
just
topic.
one option just real quick is just to speed up the raw mode integration, so that in the next Rook release, at least newer deployment will get the raw mode by default if they don't use a really elaborated scenario.
This issue here.
Yeah,
Sebastian?
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. Yeah. Which obviously won't solve the case where you have an existing cluster and then you upgrade to that newest version of Ceph, and then you start trying to expand the cluster. Oh, actually, yes. If you upgrade the Rook version, then you will expand the cluster with different types of OSDs with raw mode. So it's a workaround.
Cool.
And with
Any
raw mode, we probably won't be able to do the like metadata devices on different devices.
No, we won't.
Right. So there's a few scenarios that are at risk
Yep.
right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other thoughts on this?
Nope.
All right.
Sounds good.
We got Travis to update us about intern to the outreachy program.
Yep. Just added that. We do have an intern who has submitted a proposal for this project. Actually, Blaine, do you want to talk about it? You've been tracking it more closely.
Yeah. Oh, my microphone's still on.
Yep.
Yeah, we have one applicant, Madavi from the Philippines, maybe. I forget now exactly.
Singapore, I think.
Singapore. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm just like, well, it's that time zone. But she's done a really good job getting started with Rook, I think, like getting a cluster up and running and being able to test things. I mean, even just that in Rook is a pretty big step, I think, and has a fixed documentation. We do want to make sure that she's comfortable writing some Go code. Travis and I think that actually having writing a Go utility similar to how the OSD purge was written is the right way to go, especially since we're going to have to query like both the Kubernetes API and also Ceph. Kind of makes Go the best choice there, since doing it in like Bash or Python, like we don't have as good integration and scaffolding in place. Yeah, I think I'm I'm inclined to accept her as an intern as long as like she's interested in doing some code writing, or as long as we can like find some common ground on like skills that she wants to learn and ways that the Rook project can benefit. Even if that is just documentation in the end, I think it's still a worthwhile endeavor.
Yeah, I think she was interested in the code too, just based on our latest conversation with her there in Slack. So we'll see. Should be good.
Cool. It's always awesome to get new contributors involved in the project and the community. So that's always exciting. Awesome. Okay, so that is the last agenda item that we had. We don't have any other specific PRs or issues to talk about here, since we kind of talked about this one up here. Are there any other topics that folks wanted to add that were not in the agenda? Okay. All right. Well, then.
Twice. Yeah.
What's that, Travis? Oh, yeah. Cool. So we so 2 weeks until KubeCon. We'll see folks online before then. We still do have this community meeting scheduled for 2 weeks from now. Maybe a short one, but we have that scheduled still. And otherwise, we will see everyone online and at KubeCon. So thanks,
good.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah.